Hey everybody, I am super excited today. I am teaming up with my friend Troy from the YouTube channel T-Roy Cooks, and we're coming together today to bring you a couple of delicious recipes. Troy's going to be making a apple stuffed pork loin, and I'm going to complement his dish with a cauliflower gratin casserole. Now, if you're not familiar with Troy, some of you are, I think, he is what I call the master of meat. His channel is primarily about grilling and smoking and barbecuing and roasting, and he really knows how to cook a piece of beef or pork or chicken. He does it all. He's got a great channel, lots of tips and tricks, and he's even got some family favorites that he shares as well. So I encourage you to check out his video after you watch mine, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So as far as my recipe goes today, what I'm going to be doing is that cauliflower casserole, and I'm going to be roasting the cauliflower along with the onions and garlic for some really terrific flavor, guys. And then we're going to layer this casserole with some spinach. I've got a coconut type sauce going into that, and then we're going to top it with some Gruyere cheese. Really delicious. And then I'm going to finish it off with a combination of some toasted almonds mixed with some parmesan cheese for a nice little crunchy topping on the top. So I think you're really going to love this, guys. I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm going to show you how to do it right after this. All right, so let's go over our ingredients and I'll show you what's in this recipe. So guys, we're going to need a head of cauliflower. Here I've got it already cut up into florets. And if you need a tutorial for that, I have one, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. And for those of you that want to know how to cut up a cauliflower, we'll also need our cheese. Now I'm using the Gruyere cheese here. This is only about 3 ounces. We don't need too much of that. And I've got my spinach that we're going to be layering in. Now right here I have my arrowroot, a little bit of salt. And if you'll notice here on the garlic cloves, guys, I have left the papers on the garlic cloves because we're going to be roasting this in the oven, and this will help protect it from burning. Now, what I did with it, though, is I cut off the very ends of it so that way when it's time to get the cloves out, it's very easy to do. We'll also need some full-fat coconut milk. Now for our topping that I talked about earlier, I've got some toasted almonds, sliced almonds here that I got from Trader Joe's already toasted, and I chopped them up with a knife to get them nice and fine, or you could use a food processor. And then we're going to combine that with some Parmesan cheese to make a nice beautiful crust on top that has a nice nutty flavor. And we'll also need some olive oil. We're going to start off our recipe by roasting our cauliflower, onion, and garlic. That's going to give us that flavor we're looking for. So preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to take our cauliflower, I'm going to add the onion to it, and I'm going to toss in a little bit of olive oil and combine it. Then pour the cauliflower onto a baking sheet that's lined with parchment paper. Now you want to spread out your cauliflower as much as you can because you want it to roast and not steam. So if you have more than this, you need to do a couple of batches. Here goes the garlic. And in the oven we go. Guys, here's our cauliflower after 35 minutes. You want to leave it in there until you get that nice golden brown color, because that's where the flavor is when those sugars start to caramelize. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and let it cool for a few minutes before we put that garlic into the blender. All right guys, the garlic has cooled off enough. I need to get it out of the paper casing here, and we're going to place the garlic and the coconut milk into the blender. Reserve a little bit of your coconut milk so we can mix it in later with our arrowroot. Then we'll pour our mixture into a saucepan. So let's head on over to the stove so we can add our arrowroot to thicken this up. All right, so we want to take that coconut milk that I didn't pour all into the blender, and I'm just going to add it to my arrowroot here, and I'm just going to blend it up. All right guys, I got my temperature on medium heat here. I want to heat up the coconut milk. So that once it comes to a little bit of a simmer, I'll add the arrowroot. And guys, if you're using cornstarch, it's the same thing. I mean, basically you're just going to mix that first with some liquid before you add it to your hot mixture. That way it won't clump up. And I'm going to add the salt to this. Here we go, just a little bit of salt. All right, it's already thickening up pretty good. You can kind of see it has thickened a little bit, and that's what we want. So now I'm going to turn the heat off here and we're going to head on over to the counter and put everything together. All right guys, we're ready to start layering up our casserole. I'm going to start with a little layer of spinach right on the bottom of our dish. Now remember, this is the same dish that I used to toss the cauliflower and the onion in olive oil. I felt like, you know, you don't have to wash it. I mean, you can still use it. It's got a little bit of film of olive oil in there and it works. So I'm going to just scoop in the cauliflower and try and sprinkle it around as much as I can evenly in the bottom of the dish. I'm going to add a little bit more of the spinach, and you could even sub in kale if you had kale, but I like spinach. It has a very mild flavor, so it goes well with this. Now comes our sauce. So I'm going to quickly combine the parmesan and the toasted almonds together just to have it mixed. So just give it a good stir. And then we'll take our mixture. I like to just use my clean hand and just sprinkle it over the top. And now we'll do a layer of our Gruyere cheese. Now guys, you can also use half cheddar and half Gruyere if you like. Now I'm going to finish it off with the almond parmesan topping to give this a little bit of a crunch. So we're going to just place this in the oven at 375 degrees, guys, for 15 to 20 minutes or until that cheese is nice and bubbly. All right guys, our casserole is done. Mine stayed in the oven for about 20 minutes almost. You just want to leave it in there until everything's nice and cheesy and bubbly. So that's what you're looking for. All right, so it smells really good in here, I tell you. So I'm going to serve a little bit of this cheesy deliciousness up. All right, let's go in for a little bite, huh? I tell you guys, the Gruyere cheese in this is just perfect. I love that nutty flavor. Man, I tell you, it is very, very good. I love the coconut, gives it a little bit of sweetness, and we've got the caramelization of the cauliflower that really makes a big difference, guys, so don't miss any steps on this when you make it. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to head on over to Troy's channel at T. Roy Cooks. Subscribe to his channel, give him a thumbs up, tell him that Rockin' Robin sent you, okay? Anyway, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I want you to go ahead and click that button right up there and you'll be notified when my new videos come out every week. So I want to thank you again, and also I want to just say a little message to Troy. Troy, thank you so much for doing this collaboration with me. I really enjoyed it, and I hope we can do it again real soon. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget to share my recipe if you liked it, and leave me a comment. All right, we'll see you next time. And we're going to get together today and come up with a couple of recipes for you guys to try any time of the need. Any time of the need. Okay.